Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. Over there is Diamond Dave Damone. This is the Appleton Oak. That's the answer. I'm Mason Quinn. Folks, today we are taking a look at a brand new miniseries for us. This is Chernobyl from HBO Max, I suppose. Anyways, this is episode 1-1 called 12345. I'm guessing that refers to something within the show, but I kind of know the story behind Chernobyl a little bit. Have not seen this dramatized version, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've just heard of the events, which are terrible within itself, but I'm definitely ready, willing, and able to see how Max did this miniseries.
I saw this right when it came out. I binged it immediately. Was it 19 or 20? Something like that? 2020? 2019, I think it was. Anyhow, I watched it right when it came out. Absolutely loved it. It's very powerful, but it's been, it's almost 4 or 5 years now. So I'm excited to watch it, especially in the studio capacity where I don't have all the other distractions that I normally would at my home. So I'm excited for this rewatch with these guys.
I have not seen it. I'm looking forward to it. Craig Mazin. I hope I said his last name right because I know I butcher names. Last of Us is where I got introduced to Craig. So the way he did that, I'm looking forward to seeing what he did here. I know a little bit about the events of Chernobyl, so I'm, like Mason Quinn said, looking forward to seeing what they present us here. So with that being said, let's go!
It's not that we'll mistake them for the truth. The real danger is that if we hear enough lies, then we no longer recognize the truth at all. What else is left but to abandon even the hope of truth and content ourselves instead with stories? All we want to know is who is to blame. In this story, it was Anatoly Dyatlov. He was the best choice. He ran the room that night. He gave the orders. And no friends. At least, not important ones. Dyatlov will spend the next 10 years in a prison labor camp. There were far greater criminals than him at work. And as for what Dyatlov did do, the man doesn't deserve prison. He deserves death.
Oh, what an open on that. What's the cost of lies?
Yeah.
But instead, 10 years for criminal mismanagement. What does that mean? No one knows. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that to them, justice was done. A just world is a sane world. There was nothing sane about Chernobyl. What happened there, what happened after, even the good we did, all of it. Madness. I've given you everything I know. They'll deny it, of course. They always do. I know you'll try your best.
Those classic tape recorders.
Mm-hmm.
That's
look at that microphone,
that's
too.
not a
I know that
Casio.
mic.
He's got a stack.
Shit.
He's been there for a minute.
5 or 6? Dude, like nothing super intense has happened yet, but this music is making me feel like
The music and like the darkness, the way everything's like so kind of gritty and dirty.
They only have like
Gritty's
light
the
in
best way to
certain
put it, yeah.
spots. Oh, look at all the blood on it.
So why are they showing the clock?
123:45 was the title.
Well,
Did he? Holy shit!
Whoa. Had his last smoke and put on his jacket and opted out.
no, I was wondering why he had 4 things down
Yeah,
for
for
the
the
cat.
cat. I'm like, why would he have so much food down? Holy cow.
What an open!
Wow.
Yeah, it was intense.
2 years and 1 minute earlier.
Is that morning sickness, you think, or a hangover?
I'm wondering if she's pregnant.
Yeah.
I could be really wrong. You're probably maybe it is just her being sick.
No, it's either one.
Oh shit!
Are we getting right into it?
Holy shit.
That got me.
He looks familiar.
Yeah, where have we seen him?
I don't know.
Not unless he's in a hard rock band.
This is the wrong guy to ask if somebody looks familiar.
Comrade Pietro! There's a fire in the turbine hall.
The control system tank, hydrogen. You and Toptonov, you morons, blew the tank. Our first priority...
It's exploded!
We know. Akimov will be calling the reactor core.
We shut it down, but the control rods are still hot. They're not all the way in. I disengaged the clutch.
I'll disconnect the servos from the standby console. You two, get the backup pumps running. We need water moving through the core. That is all that matters.
There is no core.
He's in shock. Get him out of here.
What?
Stack is burning. I saw it.
You're confused. RBMK reactor cores don't explode.
Something strange has happened. You taste metal.
Oh.
What you're saying is physically impossible. The core can't explode.
Get the hydrogen out of the generators and pump water into the core.
Dude just said there's no core. Like, I don't know a lot about nuclear engineering, but I know they gotta be in water, for one.
Oh.
Is that concrete?
Something.
That's not concrete.
Yeah, concrete doesn't glow like that.
Burn.
I wonder if this is an actual call.
Oh, it could, the actual recording. That's got to be real.
Felt real.
Crazy.
This is a big one.
But it doesn't look right.
Private says he thinks they're shining floodlights or something.
What if they're chemicals?
The problem's the roof. That's it. That's the worst of it. Go back to bed.
It's interesting they're just letting the actors speak in their normal language instead of, like, speaking Russian with subtitles. Oh, look at that wall. It's blown out.
Is it warm? Where's the dosimeter? Here. Are they bombing? What the fuck is this? It's 3.61 guns as high as it goes. The good one's locked in a safe. I don't have a key. But there, your face.
Oh, it's already hitting
Look
them.
at that.
Yeah, these...
Oh.
We need to get to the reactor hall. The lift's destroyed. Up 2 flights and across. Stay here. I'll come back.
No.
He's got it too. These guys are all gonna get hit with it so bad.
Victor. Victor. I'm gonna get you out of here.
My God.
Oh, man.
Good on up, Shook.
I dropped the control rods from the other panel.
They're still up. They're only a third of the way in. I don't know why. I already sent the trainees down to the reactor hall to lower them by hand.
What about the pumps?
Can't get through to them, Chuck. The lines are down.
Well, I need water in my reactor core. Get down there and make sure those pumps are on. What does the dosimeter say?
3.6 Rontgen, but that's as high as the meter.
3.6. Not great, not terrible.
It's as high as it goes. Look at that.
Oh, man. These poor dudes.
Wow.
Vasily, don't fuck around with it. Hook these up, come on.
You taste metal.
Well, that's
Yeah, where's
another guy that said it.
Immediately.
It's got to be something with the radiation.
We need to get into the reactor hall to lower the control rods while the door's jammed.
I don't think there's a core.
You're mistaken.
It's like they're just in such denial.
Let's go.
Oh, man.
Hang your tank car! Get on these horses!
Oh.
Shit. Oh, man.
And he had a glove on.
Yeah, well, that.
Wow.
I think he's starting to realize that this is some way more serious than a fire.
Yeah.
Well, you'd think other people might step on those or even just touch them to move them out of the
Yeah.
Oh.
Holy shit. Is his face already getting red?
Yeah, it is. Holy shit, that's the core, or what's left of it. They were right in at the core of a nuclear reactor. Holy shit.
Oh, look at his face.
Oh, my
It's
God.
instant.
Oh. Oh.
Want to come with us? Come where?
Going to the railroad bridge to get a better look.
It's a fire. It's over there. We're over here.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
But did he say it was bad?
No, he said it was just the roof.
Well, he's never gotten hurt before. None of the boys have. He'll be fine.
Scott,
Oh no.
I looked right into it. I looked into the core.
Did you lower the control rods or not?
There is none.
The exposure that these guys are
To
getting
not
just
take
off the
him. He's delusional.
Another guy's delusional.
Dude, he'll be fine. I've seen worse. Do we still have a phone line to the outside? Call in a day shift.
But if the...
We have to keep water flowing into the core. We need electricians, mechanics. We need bodies.
The fact that he's not taking any feedback and taking it into consideration at least.
Yeah.
They're going to want a full report. Well, I don't know if I can make things better for you, but I can certainly make them worse.
Holy shit.
He's gonna threaten them.
Jeez.
Yes, Comrade Bianco.
How's it downstairs, Doctor?
Quiet. They haven't brought anyone in from the fire. The power plant. Do we stock iodine? Iodine. Does the hospital stock iodine pills?
Iodine pills? Why would we have iodine pills?
Hello. Who else knows this? Of course, I want you to call him. If I'm up, he's up.
All the big guys now getting their phone calls.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not the phone call they want at any time, let alone 2 in the morning.
Whatever the cause, the important thing is that neither you nor I...
I take it the safety test was a failure.
We have the situation under control.
Under control?
I have to get on the phone and tell Marion, or God forbid, Frolishev.
No one can blame you for this, Director Prokhanov.
Of course no one can blame me for this. How can I be responsible? I was sleeping.
We ran the test exactly as Chief Engineer Fermin approved. Unit Shift Chief Akimov and Engineer Toptonov encountered technical difficulties leading to an accumulation of hydrogen in the control system tank. It regrettably ignited, damaging the plant, setting the roof on fire.
The reactor?
We're taking measures to ensure a steady flow of water through the core.
What about radiation?
Obviously down here it's nothing, but in the reactor building I'm being told 3.6 Rontgen per hour.
Well, that's not great, but it's not horrifying.
Not at all.
Considering it was maxed out on that meter.
Yeah.
Have them use a good meter from the safe. Have them wake up the local executive committee. There'll be orders coming down.
What do you think makes the colours?
It's the fuel for sure. My friend Yuri works at the power plant. Says it runs cold.
Oh, it is beautiful.
They just have no idea what they're in for. Like, they don't even understand the nuclear.
Oh, they wouldn't even go closer.
It is not.
And there's kids there, dude.
Oh, the fallout's making its way there.
Well, it's the wind.
Yeah, I mean, the wind's
pushing it
carrying the
through.
fallout, yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
it's in
all
her
the
hair.
ash.
Yeah.
This is uncomfortable.
They're all sitting there.
They're
just,
all getting
all
hit
just
with
standing
it.
there thinking it's a normal night, just a fire at the building.
Oh, the shot of the kid.
Look at all the
how
ash.
much
Look
there
at
is.
it on the ground.
God, and then the
no
music on
idea.
top of it.
I know the music's killing it right now. In a good way. Crushing it, I should say. The music's crushing it.
Oh, look at this whole side of them.
Yeah, that he was pushing on the door.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, he knows.
Oh man, is he already getting red, or is that just
Yeah.
because of the fire?
That's what I'm wondering. Is it hitting everybody?
We need to start making our way to the roof.
These guys are going in even closer.
Facilities this path straight up.
Oh, look at his face
Yeah,
already.
it's like he knows. I just get the feeling that so many people already know their fate just being around it.
If they don't know it, they're definitely thinking it.
Pumps are gone. The electrical's gone. I think it's time we...
No, we have to get water into the core, otherwise there'll be a meltdown. We have to open the valves. If it's true, then we're dead. 1 million people are dead. Is that what you need to hear?
And the number of valves, the amount of time to turn, you're talking about hours in there.
And help us.
Help you do what? Pump water into a ditch. There's nothing there.
Watch the panel while we're gone.
It's not working.
Just watch it.
Sitnikov, Prokhanov wants us to use a good dosimeter, but it's in a safe and We can't find the key.
It's in building 2. Follow me.
Rest assured, we are all very safe down here. As you can see, we have experienced an accident, a large control tank malfunction damaging reactor building 4. First, the accident is well under control. It is important that we ensure that this incident has no adverse consequences. Now, to prevent a panic, the Central Committee have ordered a detachment of military police to Pripyat.
How large of a detachment?
Between 2,000 and 4,000 men.
How dangerous is this?
There's mild radiation, but it's limited to the plant itself.
No, it isn't. You saw men outside vomiting.
Yep, he knows.
You saw men with burns. There's more radiation than they're saying. I say we evacuate the town. The air is glowing.
The Cherenkov effect. Completely normal phenomenon, can happen with minimal radiation.
Oh my God, this guy.
I wonder how many of you know the name of this place. We all call it Chernobyl, of course.
The Vladimir I. Lenin Nuclear Power Station.
Vladimir I. Lenin. And the passion you have for the people. For is that not the sole purpose of the apparatus of the state? That our faith in Soviet socialism always be rewarded. No, the state tells us the situation here is not dangerous. The state tells us it wants to prevent a panic. Listen well. That when the people ask questions that are not in their own best interest, they should simply be told to keep their minds on their labor. Jesus. And leave matters of the state to the state. We seal off the city. No one leaves. And cut the phone lines. Contain the spread of misinformation. We keep the people from undermining the fruits of their own labor. We will all be rewarded for what we do here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he's the only one, that dude that brought up.
He was
like,
the only guy who was like, what are you talking about?
It's the only
the
one
denial of these people are just, it's insane.
It's the only one that seemed to have any sense.
I'm just baffled that no one at minimum is taking in consideration.
Well, that's how that government worked. It was all blame and steps of accountability, following orders regardless of common sense.
I sent my dosimetrist into the reactor building.
What was the number?
The meter burned out the second it was turned on.
It's typical.
Here's what Moscow does. Sends us shit equipment and wonders why things go wrong.
We found another dosimeter from the military fire department. It only goes to 200 Rontgen, but it's better than the small ones. It maxed out. 200 Rontgen. I asked him. He took multiple measurements. He's my best man.
It's another faulty meter. You're wasting our time.
I checked the meter against the control.
What's wrong with you? How'd you get that number from feed water leaking from a blown tank?
I walked around the exterior of Building 4. I think there's graphite on the ground, in the rubble.
That's what that was.
You didn't see graphite.
I did.
You didn't.
You
didn't! Because it's not there!
Are you suggesting the core exploded?
Yes.
You're going to call him insane now, too? The other guy was delusional.
Yep.
So please tell me how an RBMK reactor core explodes. Not a meltdown, an explosion.
I can't.
Are you stupid?
I don't see how it could explode.
I'll go up to the vent block roof. From there, you can look right down into reactor building 4.
Oh.
Guards! Guards!
The feed water. Been around it all night. You go then.
So they've maxed out 3 meters.
And report back what you see.
No. Of course you will.
You'll be fine. You'll see.
Oh. Well, then why don't you go and look?
You want me to go look in the core of a blown up reactor?
What's the game? Hang on in. It's all the way, okay? All the way open. I'm sorry. There's nothing to be sorry for. We did nothing wrong. But we did.
It doesn't matter what this guy sees. They're not going to believe him anyways. They're just going to tell him he's wrong.
That's the picture they painted for us so far. Like, you could tell him, nothing's there, and
core is gone.
you're in denial, you're lying. At least that's what they're presenting to us, right?
No, I'm with you on that.
Wow.
Oh,
what a shot that
yeah.
is.
Right there.
How's his face looking?
Look
at that.
Wow. It's already reddening up.
Look at his nose.
Yeah.
Look at his forehead and ears. So this is his first time actually seeing people outside the plant. Wonder if it's finally starting to hit him. Oh, that's dude.
Yep.
Oh my
Look
God!
at
Look
him.
at his face.
Yep. We don't believe what you saw. You're misremembering. Oh, they're going to be coming in all
just. Oh, man.
Just nonstop.
I had to get out and go into a different room to answer that.
Yeah. Now you can just lay in bed.
Yodel Legato is the first deputy director of the Kurchatov Institute of Atomic Energy.
I am. Who am I
This is
speaking?
Boris Sherbina, deputy chairman of the Council of Ministers and head of the Bureau for Fuel and Energy. There's been an accident at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. No need to panic. There was a fire. It's mostly put out. The system control tank exploded.
And the core?
And we've ordered them to continuously pump water. The plant manager, Brukhanov, is reporting 3.6 Rontgen per hour.
That's actually significant. You should evacuate the
You're an
surround.
expert on RBMK reactors. Correct?
Study the-
General Secretary Gorbachev has appointed a committee to manage the accident. You're on it. You're on this committee to answer direct questions about the function of an RBMK reactor, if they should happen to arise. Nothing else. Certainly not policy. Do you understand?
I didn't mean to...
Click.
That's it.
Just listen to me.
Yeah.
We're not going to listen to you about anything other than about the reactors. That's it. Look at that.
It's gonna
Look
tip
at her
over.
hands.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh, look at that orange under that.
Huge cloud of fallout going right for the city. I've seen a few other like movies and documentaries, and some of these shots that they're getting, like so that playground equipment and stuff, are pretty iconic.
Holy shit.
Oh, there's the proverbial canary in the coal mine.
Oh.
Wow.
You think that's
man?
You think that's supposed to represent the bird that we saw inside the plant before that like flew out, or is that just representing? Hey, there's fallout everywhere. It's hitting all the nature.
latter of the two.
Stuff's dropping.
It's the, yeah.
But what a powerful shot at the end there.
Yeah. Oh my God. Just total ignorance
Now
of what's
listen to
going
the
on.
Music just.
Yeah.
It's the one of the Rontogen.
Yeah, like a Geiger counter.
That's the easier way to say
Yeah.
it. Geiger counter.
Unreal. It's always weird, like knowing a little bit of the background behind a story, and you almost get like a sanitized version. Like, okay, there was a meltdown in a nuclear reactor in Chernobyl, and this X, Y, and Z happened. But until you're given and shown like what actually happened, at least we hope that they're being incredibly accurate to the true story. But to just see everything these men had to do and the impossible task that they were faced with, where they actually had to do something to follow orders and to follow what the state wants, regardless of what common sense is and what makes sense in their mind and what they're seeing with their own eyes. You're basically being told, that's not what you saw. You're misremembering things.
Yeah.
That's not possible. How could that happen? So if it couldn't happen, it didn't happen, regardless of you're seeing chunks of the core out in the lot there where the firefighters are working. A couple of things, I don't know if it made the cut. The makeup and the special effects and the setting was absolutely incredible. You felt like you were there. I liked how they had the actors just speak in whatever their normal language is. They didn't try to go for accents or anything like that. And I kind of like that because it just it helps you to understand a little bit clearer. You're able to take in the story and not having to worry about perhaps reading subtitles or something like that. So and you also don't have to worry about, if somebody says, "Oh, that's a terrible Russian accent," that's not even accurate. And I think it takes all those kind of nitpicks and issues out of the situation, and you can just focus on the story. So I really like that they did that. I'm somewhat torn on Dyatlov, our kind of main character, who was he was kind of denying everything he was seeing, because they had that shot in the beginning where he was like almost in like a haze, or in like he was like stunned for a moment after what happened. And he did that a couple times throughout the episode. And I know that he was ordering guys to do things that weren't in their best interest or didn't make sense given what was actually happening. But I almost think he knew the second that explosion happened, I think he knew they were all done. I think he knew they were all gone. And then at that point, he was just following the protocol that is in place and then just doing everything by the book. I think that's maybe a possibility. However, the argument to that is he called in the day shift individuals. Now, why would you put more people at risk if you already know you're totally done for? Unless like what we saw, the guy had to go look into the core with an armed guard, essentially making him do it. I think he knew that if he deviated from the plan, that he was going to be done for anyways. So it's an interesting thing, and I think they gave us those shots to kind of have us play those mental games a little bit in our head, but I really liked that. And of course, a ton of the different stories that we have in here, the things all the men are going through, is just absolutely incredible. I can't wait to see where the series goes.
Yeah, like going into this, I kind of heard of Chernobyl, kind of knew of it, but I didn't know it obviously to this level. So this is amazing to watch. It's really powerful, and just trying to understand with how their level or how their train of thinking goes, that we have to listen to the code. We have to go down the code and do everything by the book, even though he did have that moments of maybe something bigger was on the horizon, but he still was making them do stuff they shouldn't have. Like, he even threatened the one guy. Yeah. It's like, I can make your life easier, or I can make it a lot harder if you don't do what I'm telling you to do. And he's almost in tears as he goes and looks, and he's in such a panic that they're opening every valve of water to just hoping that it helps, So it's very powerful. That end shot with the bird was just, because you just knew what was coming, you saw, because that's, like you said, if it makes the cut, the canary in a coal mine, hey, when the canary drops dead, we all got to get out, because it's not good enough for us, because if they're first to go, we're right behind them. So just going in and seeing everything that went into it, from the old man that we thought he was going to give a nice, a good speech to help us out. No, he said, wall off the city. Don't let the misinformation spread. Cut the phone lines. Like, really? Like, you just signed the death certificate for how many people do you want? I mean, they're all going to get this radiation. We saw all the families with the ash falling on them.
Yeah, he was looking at it as their moment to shine.
Yeah,
to succeed.
Yeah, so this first episode was really powerful, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle the next 4. It's going to be really just interesting to see and intense to learn more and more about this.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. No, you go ahead. You first watch.
Yeah. So I think the best way for me to describe this first episode is chilling. I don't think I've seen an episode like this to make me feel like this before. I know we've watched war movies; they just hit different. But this one definitely takes a bigger toll on me. My first degree was in fire protection. One of the classes that you have to take is hazmat. You learn quite a bit in there, and I would encourage, if you have the opportunity to take it or learn something in that realm, definitely take it, because those things you take away, you'll have it for life. But in there, I want to say we did, if I can remember, it's been over close to 10 years now. So if I want to say we learned a little something in there. I still have my ERG book from there, and in there, if you know about it, it has tons of information that relate. One of them's related in these kind of cases. So just seeing the fact that these firefighters, and I was a firefighter for just a little stint, but just seeing the firefighter, and I get it, 86 versus 2024, different times. We know more now than we did then, kind of thing. But just seeing them roll in with no face mask, no oxygen tanks, and who knows, maybe their protocol was different. I'm not sure, so take it easy on me if I'm a little wrong there.
That's probably all they had for equipment.
And that's probably it too. I got to take that into consideration too. Maybe that's all they had. With that, just seeing the shots of the kids, the families going down to get closer, the way that Craig Mazin and crew made that shot, just wow, that was insanely impactful emotionally. The opening line, what's the cost of lies? I think I got that right. And then that end shot with the bird. I thought the opening is hard hitting, the whole episode's hard hitting, and the ending was just even more of an impact punch. The way I wasn't expecting us to get into everything right away. Now, granted, I know there's 5 episodes, so everything's got to stay tight. But I guess I was expecting maybe later in the episode, and then episode 2 was going to be. I guess I kind of thought that way, but I'm glad they did what they did. I'm not saying that's a con by any means. I'm glad they did what they did. Seeing the wife, kind of question it right away, and the poor gentleman, what's his name? Adam. I'm going to go by his real name here because I'm terrible at pronouncing names, but I can get Adam right.
Oh, there you go. Vasily.
Yeah, and he's also Daryl Dixon. I was trying to.
That's what it's from. Yeah. I just couldn't recognize. I was like,
I'm like, we just saw him. We just saw him.
Main character.
Yep.
And him just all to roof fire, and then them getting there, seeing the devastation, and then now he's starting to feel the radiation and everything. Just insane. The denial of everybody. My one thing was like no one was taking into consideration. They don't have to totally believe it, but at least take in consideration that. All right, we got like 4 guys now saying there's no core, whatever the number is, right? I'm just playing hypothetical numbers. We got a lot of people coming in now saying there's no core or there's nothing there, whatever. We had 3 meters go, completely gone. And then just hearing...
One burned out.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, folks, but I believe it's like the normal radiation in the air is 0.6 or it's 0.06. It's one of the two. So here in 3.6 is
200 and then
crazy,
1,000.
and then 200 and then 1,000. I think basically over 2,000 is pretty much instant with what we've been seeing. So again, correct me if I'm wrong on anything. I don't want to be spreading misinformation anywhere. So again, just this whole thing was impactful, chilling. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's this isn't a first watch for me, but when I did watch it for the first time, I was at my house, and as everybody knows, there's texts coming in, your phone's ringing, the mailman's coming, the dogs are barking, you're getting up to use the restroom. So it's a different level of focus, I guess, is the best thing I can say when you're watching a show in a studio capacity like this. I mean, in something like this, the interaction between us is very limited, just given, the nature of this particular type of show. So I had seen it before. It's got to be close to 5 years now. And so this is an interesting watch. Obviously, the story we kind of all know. I'd seen it before, so I know, the grittiness and the drama, but there's definitely things I'm picking up on that I didn't, just given the environment that I watched it in the first time around. And it's just so powerful. When you're in a position of power, a real position of power, and you mess up, taking ownership and accountability for your own mistakes is so important instead of just letting it roll downhill. And that's what we're seeing here at incredibly high levels. No, you're wrong. No, it's this. Just lies, denial. Diamond Dave brought up the power of that opening statement. What is the cost of lies? And, it was just incredible, to see, what could have happened. Answer really nailed it. Like I thought, and I don't remember the speech from the older gentleman, and in that whole room was kind of, not something that stuck in my memory, but I thought the old guy was going to get up and give some sort of like good, you think he's going to give some good speech. We've seen that in other shows, right? The older person's going to come up, and you have the businessmen who think they're at the top, and somebody with wisdom, life experience, and maybe a little bit more insight comes and gives some sort of powerful speech. And his was the exact opposite. His was like, I'm gonna tell you how to keep the people in control. And it's difficult to watch, and of course, and I've mentioned this before, it does hit harder when you have kids, because the well-being of my son is infinitely more important than my own well-being, right? It's just how it is. And so the anger that I would have at somebody when you said it was safe, you said it was fine, we had concerns, we wanted to get out, now they're saying lock down the city. Could you imagine? Like, I can see the plant glowing. I would like to get my family away from the cloud overhead, which is already too late, but we like to get, oh, everything's fine.
That's not what you're seeing.
Just leave. No, it's the whatever phenomenon. It's like you feel for their anger. And again, it's like, it'd be one thing if it was just me sitting there like, geez, I need to get out of here, versus when you have, children and people that you're trying to protect and take care of. So I can't imagine the frustration of the people that were there. And it's interesting, when we speak about the people that were there, when I did writing for Muscular Development, I did an article. I had a series called Against All Odds, and I did an article about a young woman whose parents were in Minsk, Belarus, which is during this time. So, and she was born with, without full hands and some issues with her lower legs and stuff, and was missing part of her lower leg, and her hands didn't develop normal, and she's gone on to do like fitness and figure competitions and CrossFit and this woman is like the most like badass you've ever met. Tatiana was her name. But watching this, it's almost like you see those parents and you think about the kids, but then you see all the other people in their futures. Like she wasn't born at the time, but her parents had the radiation, and she was born, with some birth defects. And I don't want to say it was a very regular thing, but it definitely happened. So for anybody who was even in the vicinity, it's like, well, what sort of long-term effects are going to impact us?
Yeah, and they showed that. They showed the hospital full of babies. They showed all the kids. They did everything for a reason.
They showed the kids playing in the ashes and stuff like that. And it's hard. It's hard to watch, But when, like I said, when you have other people you're trying to look out for, it's even harder to watch. And so this, even though it's not my first time watch, it definitely hits a little bit different. But again, watching it in a studio capacity as opposed to on my couch with all the distractions was good. So I won't say I'm, it's tough when you're reactors, right? Because we always like to say, "Oh, excited to see the next one," and it's like with a show like this, you're not excited to see any of them. It's learning,
looking forward.
It's learning about history. You're looking forward to, and Diamond Dave does a great job of always pointing out how well the writers and the video people and the technical side of things do, because as reactors, that's one thing that we pay close attention to as well. And this show is done phenomenally, but I am looking forward to watching more of the series just because of how well it was done and how impactful it is. So
yeah, they're definitely, everyone was afraid to speak out of what was actually happening and why it was happening. And we can all sit here and be like, well, why are they doing that? Why won't they speak the truth? Why won't they take into account?
Well,
it's because they couldn't say anything was wrong. The guy was, again, forced to go look at the core at the barrel of a gun. Like, you could not speak out against the state or tell the state something was going wrong, because that's not what they wanted to hear. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that as we move
There was one guy that said something in that board meeting that was like, it's not safe. Yeah. It's the sky is glowing. And like at first, old man, it's like, you're nice. You think of the people. But what is this has always worked for us, and it's always, we will be rewarded with what we're doing here tonight.
So
you're
bad.
not going to be rewarded.
Yeah, you're not.
I mean, we know the history, but
and just real quick before we go, what did you guys think of Dyatlov? I know I kind of touched on that a little bit. Do you think in the beginning he knew right away what was happening, or do you think he was full on board with deny?
When you brought it up, you started shaking your head, so I wanted to hear your theory.
My personal opinion, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, feel free or hammer me if I'm wrong. My personal opinion is the way they had him written in here, and I'm only going off of here, I'm not going off any history. Because when they were in that room with that other engineer, now granted it was the other guy, I'm an engineer, nuclear engineer, tell me how this explodes. I know. And he couldn't give him an answer. There was no answer. So with the other guy, Dyatlov.
Yeah, the guy they showed in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm
main,
just butchering
main
names.
guy
I
with
just
the
want to hear
mustache.
Quinn say it again.
Dyatlov.
So he, in the impersonation I got here, the impression that I got from him is he knew the exact same thing of literally the ins and outs of everything. So when these guys are coming back, he's like, nope, that's not right. Like, he is that much of a stickler because of what he knows. So to me, he couldn't believe it because of everything that he knew until he got outside. That's when I think it started hitting. Like, I might be wrong. Like, in his mind, he was 100% right. All these other people.
If everybody was so delusional, why didn't he go look at it himself?
He was going to until he.
It's an interesting point. Like, imagine if somebody told you, "Oh man, there's something wrong with my truck. What happened?" Well, the engine got up and floated away. You know, what? No, yeah, the engine it floated up in a way. You'd be like, that can't happen. Now, obviously, this is a very, very.
You have to use an extreme example.
Extreme
to make the
example.
Point. Yeah.
But if the engineers are saying that a core is physically enabled to explode, it would be like, what if a Play-Doh without a firecracker in the middle? Like, oh, the Play-Doh exploded. No, that can't happen. Play-Doh can't explode. What was it? What was in it? What happened? Nothing. Just a ball of Play-Doh exploded. That can't happen. And I kind of feel like maybe that's what was in his head. Like, oh, the reactor exploded. No, the reactors can't explode. That didn't happen. You're mistaken. You're delusional. And he comes across like a jerk. But I think Dave hits the point, like, until he looks around, like, holy shit, like, did this really happen?
And to add on quick before I forget it, even when the guy said there was pieces of the core, graphite, he immediately said, it was not, or however he said that, he denied it immediately. No, it wasn't. You didn't see that.
But do you think that was him, or was that the answer he had to give for the state? Because I get the impression from that first scene when he was like sitting there in a haze when we first opened in the control room and he wasn't saying anything. I got the opinion he knew exactly what happened and he knew they were all done, but he had to play ball essentially. Otherwise, he's going to
play
get
ball by
disappeared.
sending then people to their impending deaths because he knew that.
Well, maybe we might get answers too. This was episode 1, so we still might get some answers.
Right, we but I think because he knew that if he didn't, the state was going to come for him at the end of a barrel of a rifle, just like we saw.
All right.
You know,
that could maybe be it. I don't
That's
know.
at least the impression I got.
Well, well, we have one down. We have 4 more to go of this impactful series. So for Diamond Dave, Appleton Oak, that's Mason Quinn. I'm, of course, the answer. We'll catch you on the next one, pals.